Hey guys, this is Eric with Eric and Nikki, and today we're going to show you one of the most important things about rehabbing: how to hire your contractor. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and tell your friends. All right guys, contracting 101. This is the biggest thing other than how you buy your deals that's gonna make or break your rehab. Contractors, or GCs. So if I say the term GC, that's general contractor. A general contractor has a license, that's the number one thing, and they get paid to pull a permit, rehab your property, and handle things what's called turnkey. Turnkey means that you don't really handle anything, right? You literally turn in the key to the house, walking in, and you're done. A GC is going to usually be somebody that already has their own subs. A subcontractor, if you want to talk about the downline, you've got a GC, you've got the client above the GC, and then below the GC, you have all the trades. You have electrician, plumber, guy that puts the floor in, a guy that does drywall, a guy that does trim. It's just a big triangle, right? A downward triangle with that amount of people that they work. And some of the subs may have other subs underneath them. When you're hiring a GC, you're actually hiring all his subs as well. 9 times out of 10, the GC will not do one piece of work on your property. They won't even swing a hammer. Now the subcontractor is who the GC pays to do that work. So if you pay a subcontractor to do the drywall, they're just gonna come in and hang the drywall, finish the drywall, and that's it. And then they're done. And then the GC will bring in the painter. There's 2 different ways you can run your rehab. You run one with a GC, and that GC pays their subs like we just explained, or you sub everything out and pay the subs. Now, there's disadvantages and advantages to each. Let's start with the GC. Number one, a GC can pull a permit. Permits don't always have to be pulled unless you're removing walls, things of that nature. If you're removing walls, I highly recommend that you go ahead and get a general contractor. The general contractor is gonna come in and give you a bid. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna add a 15 to 20% on top of that bid, because that's how they make their spread. Now, the importance of a GC is because they probably know more than you do on this rehab. Unless you've done hundreds of rehabs and built tons of houses, you probably don't know as much as the GC. Even you people that think you know everything, like me, you don't. The GC is gonna be somebody that comes in and handles everything start to finish, and you pay them through the process and they pay their subcontractors, okay? It's really, really good for people with little time. If you don't have any time to be involved in your project, you need to hire a GC. A GC will make sure that the subcontractors are doing what you say they should do, and you need to make sure the GC is doing what he says he needs to do. Now, if you have time, and you have a little bit less of a budget, I highly recommend going the subcontractor route. It takes a little bit longer to find them because you have to find 10 different people for one project, right? Have to find a plumber, an electrician. But here's the good thing. Plumbers and electricians usually have their own permit. So if you need to do just electrical work, you could hire just an electrical contractor. If you needed to do just plumbing, you could hire just a plumber. And you want to make sure that when you're hiring these subcontractors, they have insurance, and you do a subcontractor agreement with them. Not just, hey, here's the money, go do the work. Subcontractors are going to be a little less expensive because you don't have that top line mark with a general contractor. With both of these, there's a couple of things that you have to do. Number one, you have to set expectations in writing. Keyword, in writing. Do not ever tell somebody they're good to start, give them money without something in writing. It never ends well, ever. Subcontractor or GC, Doesn't work. Number two, never give money up front. Never. If you're hiring a GC or a subcontractor and they can't afford to buy their own material or run their own business, they're gonna afford to walk away from your job after you pay them. Do not pay general contractors or subcontractors up front for material or for anything until they've started the job. You say, Eric, well, what about if, it's just somebody coming in and doing a little bit of work? Well, you make that call. I don't pay anybody up front for anything. If there's something that I need to buy the material for instance, a tiler. A tiler will want you to buy the tile material first and then they come in and install it. I'm fine with that because I'm paying for the tile. I know that once the tile's there, they're not gonna walk off with my tile that I've already bought most of the time. Or trim, right? I'm okay to buy trim, but what I'm saying is you don't give them the money for the material. If they say, hey, I need 50 bucks, 60 bucks for this or that, you don't do that. If you wanna buy it and put it there, that's fine, but you don't wanna give them money for material up front, ever. Next, you wanna check the work always. Even a general contractor, you wanna check their work. Do they have references that they've worked with before? Subcontractor or GC. What work have they done? Do they have pictures? Can I go walk through a project? Can I walk through a project that's under construction that you're doing? Here's another thing, is the project clean? Most of the time I have found that if a GC cleans up after and makes sure that their job site is clean, they're gonna be much better because they're gonna be much more detail oriented. And that's something you definitely want. Check their work. Are they doing what they say they're doing? Also, when you're doing your contract, make sure that you pay in draws, okay? How we do it is we agree to pay 50% of the job when the job is 50% complete. We pay 40% of the job when the job is 40% complete. That leaves us 90% paid. And then we hold the last 10% until the property is sold. Now, why do we do that? The reason that we hold that last 10% is because if there's any blue tape touch-ups the homeowner wants, if there's anything that comes up in inspection, anything like that, that keeps the trade or the GC from completely just walking away from the job. It's very important though that you set that expectation up front. Mr. GC, Mr. Subcontractor, we pay on Wednesdays of every week. If you do not have your invoice to me by Monday at 8 a.m., you will not be paid for that week. Also, we do a process of a 50, 40, and 10% draw. Are you good with that? Here's our contractor agreement, please sign. If they don't do those things, they're not the contractor for you. Now, you also have to remember you get what you pay for. If you're gonna be cheap and you're gonna get the cheapest person out there, most likely the quality is not gonna be what you wanted. I do a mid-range contractor. I don't do any general contractor work except for my new construction. I do everything subcontractor. So with my subcontractors, I'm middle of the road. Their material and their projects are not super high end, but they're also not super low end either. That keeps having a good product to present, and that also makes sure that you're keeping your budget in line. In the end, what's better? For us, we have time and we want to save money, so we use the subcontractor route. That may not be the best thing for you. I hope these items though you listen to. Don't ever pay the general contractor or the subs up front. Have everything in writing and make sure that you're always checking their work before you cut them a check. Last and final thing, make sure that GC or sub, they know 100% you will not pay the next day the work's done. There's a ton of subs and ton of GCs out there that say, oh, the work's done, I need a check today. No, that is not how it works in our world, and it shouldn't be how it works in yours either. Even if you don't have a billing process, make one. Our billing process is as such. Invoice on Monday, pay on Wednesday, and oh, by the way, I'm not the decision maker, I'm sorry, please send that to our accountant. You have to make sure that that process is in place. It'll keep your subs happy, it'll keep your GC happy. Last, it will keep you from losing a lot of money. Hope you found value in this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment.